So now we will go to each different component and try to finish the unit test cases. So let's go to do page, though it is 100%, but I need to see if I need to do any changes because of Redux integration. Okay, let's try to do that one. And let's run the whole test again and see which percentages are covered and which are not. Okay, so 16 test cases failed. Okay, it's okay. Action is 100%, reducer is 100%, site detail is 100%. Let's start with the to do, though it's 100%, but we need to check if we need to delete anything or add anything. So first I'll go to the to do page and I'll go to the test page also. So first thing I'm trying to render the to do page. And since we have put the, since we have integrated the Redux, so we need to, in addition to this browser router, we also need to pass the provider and the store. So what I will do, okay, 1 second, what I will do. Okay, give me 1 second, okay, I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Now what we will do, we have we have to copy this, and wrap over this browser router. And this we have to do in all the components. So better we will write a common file and put it there, and we'll call it here. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. So what I will do now, I will create, maybe in the source file, I will create a new file, or I can create in the components. Let's create in the components, create a new file. I will name it as test utils. You can name anything. I just put test utils for my putting some common code here in the utils, and I will do changes here in this page as it is. Import React from React. Now, second thing which I'll do, I'll take this render part. Okay, so I'll take this render part. I don't need a screen and fire event now in this page, but I'll rename it to as RTL render. You can rename it to anything. So I took the render, I renamed it to RTL render. You can rename to anything. And why I renamed it? Because I will be creating a render variable in this page. I will be exporting that, which I will use it here instead of this render. So testing library gives me a render component or render function. But what I will do, I will take this render, rename it to RTL render, and I will create another variable render which I will return it. So when I will call the render, I will not call render from the testing library, I will call render from test utility. That's why I renamed the original render to RTL render. RTL means React Testing Library render. Okay, now I will import this browser router also in this test utility, and then I will also import this provider. One second. Okay. So I will also import the provider because we need to wrap this provider store like this. Okay. Then what is next we need? So I also need this configure store part. So let's put the configure store. Configure store is outside this components folder. This Redux is outside the components folder. So I will go dot and then I'll go Redux configure store. So we try to get everything. I'll copy this store part here in my test util. And then I will create one function called as export constant, and I will name it as render. And this render will expect some component. If you see render, what render is expecting? Render is expecting one component. So same thing, this render also will expect one component. Okay, so this is the one-time work which we will do on this page, and we will use this all over our pages. Now what I will do, I will return. So I will take this part, render part, and put it here. But this render is not there. I renamed this render to RTL render, so I will rename this to RTL render. And I will take the browser router, and browser router should be wrapped with the provider. So I'll take the provider and I will wrap this browser router with provider. Okay, and to do page is not there. Instead of to do page, we have this component which is coming. So what will happen when I will call this render function? It will take this component and it will put that component here, and we are wrapping the browser router and provider to the component. So we don't need to put browser router on every page or provider on every page. We could have done provider and browser router on every page, but that will be extra work we have to do. So that's the reason we created this common file, and now we will get this render function from test util, and we will replace that render with this render, because this render is already inside this one. So we don't need this render part here because we have render part here. Okay, so that's why we are exporting this render, and we will be importing render from this file rather than importing render from this file. Is this part clear? What I am trying to do is clear. Okay, and if it is not clear, then ask me a specific question or go back to the video and watch it again. Now what I will do, I will remove this render part from here because we don't need render from React testing library. We want render from test utilities. So I will import render from I'll go back and I'll go back again, and here I will go to choose the test utils. So now my render is coming from test utils. I don't need browser router because browser router is already in the this test util. So I'll delete the browser router. I'll delete here also. I'll delete here also. Okay, I deleted from every place because once I call render function, it will automatically wrap provider and browser router. So we don't need the browser router here. Okay, now we'll check if everything is right or we need to delete something or we need to do. So I'll enter the to-do page is this one. So it has the text ID of to-do page, which I'm getting it here. So this is fine. Should insert the text in the text box. Okay. So this is the integration test where we put the all the things inside it. But right now I will comment everything. I don't want to do these things unless I finish all other things. Okay, we'll come back to this page again later. So I only use the one test case here now. And let's see what is the to-do page. So now also to-do page is 100% because there is no real functionality on the to-do page. We're just calling different components. So even if I don't write anything here, then also it's fine. But we'll come back to this again if we need to uncomment it or write something or everything is looking good, then we don't need it. Before I go further, just create your test util file and then we'll go further. I'll give you 1 minute to create this test util. This is very important file. You should remember because when you do for your development, you have to build like this. Okay, so we're done with this one. So I will give you this to do one also. Right now I'll delete this part and we don't need this fire event right now. So I'll give you the to do page also in the Telegram chat group. Can also put that one. So do that in along with what I'm showing you now. Just do it quickly along with me. Okay, so we will go to another page now. So we finished the to-do page. Right now it's 100%. We'll come back here if we need to. Let's go with the header and see if we need to do any change in the header. So if I see the header part, header is 100% done and header is taking some props and it is not based on the Redux. So Let's check the test once again. So we have this learning things. We don't need it for now because I already explained everything. So header is testing the title and we don't need anything to change in the header. So we don't need to touch the header file. It is 100% already completed. Okay, again I'll check 100% done. So let's close the header. Let's go to to do input now. Okay, let's try to check that one. I'll go to do input and I'll go to do input file and I'll open the text file also for the to do input. So let's try to fix the to do input. Render part I will take from the text util. As I already told you, I don't need render part from here. So let's put the render part here and I'll delete this part from here. So whenever render is done, it is done. It is done to do input one. Previously to do input was expecting some props, but here we don't need any props, so we will not pass any of the props. Okay, so let's delete the props. Okay, so I deleted the props on all the render function. So right now let's remove this also, we're not using it. Okay, so first thing which we will see in the render input, it's saying add a new task here, which I am able to see add a new task here. So this test is absolutely okay. We don't need to do any change here. It is just a test checking of this placeholder. Now I should be able to type into the text box. So when I try to type into the text box, it should update the set to do. That is this set to do. And it will update this to do part whenever I will type it. And so once I type it here and okay, so when I type it here, I call this change event and the element dot value. Element is nothing but this element, input element dot value will be updated with the what I am typing it here as it is. So here also there is no redux change. It only takes the input part and whatever I change, it should reflect in the value, and that's what it is doing it here. So we don't need to do any change here. Let's try to go with this last function. I take the to do task and when I click the button element. So when I click this button, then we call the add to do, and the add to do will call the dispatch function and set to do will become empty. So when I call this button, the only thing which I can check here is this value should be empty, which is going perfectly fine. So we don't need to do anything here also. But I will just check. Okay, no need to check. I cannot check anything here. So I don't feel we need to do any change here in this function also. Let's see what is the percentage for to do input now. So to do input, if you see, it is also 100% covered. I didn't do any change except the render call. Okay, so I'll give you this to do input also in the Telegram group. Just use it and see. Okay, so I did not did any change except removing the render here and putting render here and removing all the props of the to do input. Okay, so just do it in 1 minute and then we'll go to other test. Okay, let's try to go further now. Okay, let's check another page. Let's go to the listing page. So once I put in the to-do input test, okay, so we need to check now this one. Let's check this one now. To-do listing page. Okay, let's see how we will test it here. Okay, so this to-do listing will take whatever we have from the input and it goes to the reducer and then we get this dispatch part. So I will first try to do this thing in the to-do page test, because in the to-do page test we have everything here and we will try to test that one. Okay, so let's try to test that one. So let me see what is the percentage of listing is there. Listing is now 71%. Here it is 0. So let's try to do this thing first in the to-do page. Okay. So in the to-do page, I will update the title in a minute. In the to-do page, I will see what is there on the screen. So let me see what is there in the screen. Screen.debug. And I will pass null, comma, infinity. Okay, now let's see what we get in the to-do page. Okay, so we have, this is the to-do page. We also see the input box and we also see the to-do listings part. Okay, let's try to do something here in this to-do page. So I'll copy a few code here. That is, I'll take this element of the input box and button, and I will fire both the events here in the to-do page. So let me fire this both the things. And after I fire both the things, I will see what is there in the debug. I will call the fire event also here. So what I'm doing, I'm calling the input box and button in the to-do page test, because here in the to-do page we get the input also, we get button also, and that's why I'm calling it here. And here in the to-do page, no, in the to-do listing part, I will just do console.log of to-dos. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to see. Okay, so what's happening now? Let's check. So we have, so initially you see, sorry, initially you see to do is coming empty, and then I call the add to do because I'm clicking the button. Here I'm clicking the button, so I call the site add to do. And once I click the button, you will see my to-dos, which is on this page. My to-dos is updated with this element. Okay. And here in the div, I'm able to see one task left. And I'm also able to see that task, Apple task, which I inserted here in this Apple page. So what I will do, I will try to grab this to-do listing rows and see how many listing rows are there after I fire this element event, right? That's what I'm going to do it. Since this, okay, let's try to do this one now. So after click event, I will fire another one. Maybe I'll say listing rows, or maybe I'll go and copy it from here. I might have done something. Yeah, listing rows. So let's take this one. So what I'm doing here, I will find my to-do listing rows, because as soon as the item is added in the to-do, you will see this listing rows will be updated with this test ID. So I will check whether something is there in the listing rows or not. And if it is there, it should be 1. Okay, it should be 1 here. And I will check this one. So before I check this part, let's comment all this in the to-do listing one. Maybe we can say .skip. Skip means don't take this into consideration. I will skip everything in the to-do listing for now, because I took care of the listing part here, and we will see again. Okay, so now what is happening? If you see, to-do listing is updated with 87%. Previously it was less kind of thing, and this was 0. And it got automatically updated because we took care of the listing here. So here I can say should return count rows count of 1, because we are adding 1 record. If I would have added more record, then it would have been 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay, so we are done with this part, and then we will try to fix the line number 23 is missing. So let's see in the listing page, what is line number 23? 23 is this click part. So when someone tries to click in the listing page, we need to take care of this part. Okay, so that's what we will try to achieve now. So this one, we took care of it here. Did we took care? No, we didn't took care of it here. We did this part in the, to-do page only. So let's grab it from the to-do page. So I'll go to my without Redux code, because I deleted some code here. So I'll get it from there. So I did that in the to-do page, test. So we try to click the update button. Now the challenge is we are trying to find the update button and clicking the update button. So this is the part. So we took the to-do listing rows and we click the first row. So let's take this part and try to put it in this to-do page test. So I got the element 3. Element 3 is nothing but the rows which we have in the listing page. What are the rows? So these rows are nothing but this one, element 3. Element 3 will calculate number of rows, and I added 1 element, so element 3 will have the length of 1. Now I will try to grab that length, and I will fire element 3 with the 0 element. That is the first element. I am clicking to fire it. Once I fire this one, let's see what change in the screen. So I can try to write the expect statement based on that. Okay, so let's see now what happens. Okay, so now once I click this one, that element called as this apple, now you will see I see it done, and we see the 0 task left. Okay, so when I click this element, I should be aware that 0 task left should come because there was only one element, and before I click this, it was 1 task left, and after I click this, it is 0 task left. So we can grab this done word also, or we can grab this 0 task left also to expect and verify that expected value. So what I will do, let's try to take first this one and see if this is working. And I will also take this one and see if it is working. Okay, so I'll say expect this element. No, I have to take the new this one. Okay, so let's take the new element. So I have to take element number 4 and I'll say get by text. And what I'm trying to find out, I'm trying to find out done keyword because it's saying done. So I'll say in a regular expression, I'll say done and I'll pass I. And I should see this element 4 should exist. Okay, let's do that one. Okay, so let's check if it is done. Let's see the error. We are getting error page on the followers page. We have not taken care of that one. Error check here. This is also Redux part. Follower list also Redux part. So this is also the followers list Redux part. Okay, so we are not getting it, and we see that to-do listing has become 100% because we have taken care of everything in this one. Okay, so we have not done any other thing with this line of statement. We have finished the to-do listing one. So if I go to to-do listing, it is all skip because we don't need to-do listing page now because everything is taken care of from the to-do page. Okay, so we don't need the to-do listing one. So let's delete the to-do listing part of this one. Okay, so I deleted the to-do listing. Let's run the test case again. So I'll give you this to-do page test case now. You can copy it where we are taking care of the listing part. So let me give you this. So this is the to-do page again because we are taking care of this in the listing one. Now let's see what test is remaining. Listing is done. Input is done. Let me double check the input. Input is done. We don't need to do anything. Listing is done. I deleted the listing test because everything is taken care of in to-do page. Now this one, footer is give me some problem. We'll go to footer in a minute. Let me see what other things are pending. Follow list, follow page. Yeah, okay. So now footer is remaining in this to-do part. Let's try to fix the line number 16 for the footer. Okay, let's go to the footer. And I will open footer file also. So previously footer was expecting the props. Now we are not giving the props. So we will also take care of the footer inside the to-do page because here, everything is coming from the Redux, and to pass the things from the Redux, we need to take care from the to-do page only. So instead of writing something in the to-do footer test, I will write down in the to-do page only. So, but what should we have to test? We have to test the line number 16. So we have to test the count. Whenever the count comes, we have to take care of this one. It should be 0 task left or 1 task left. So that thing we have to check it. Okay, so let's copy this one in the to-do page. I will copy it again. Should check the count value. Okay, so I'm checking the count value on the to-do footer. So it should say one task left. So after I'm done with the first one, I should see this to be, I should see the to-do listing row should be 1 because I'm adding one element. Also, I should see that footer should say one task left. Okay, so I will also say screen.get by text, and here I will say one task left, and it should be in the document. So whenever I run this, all the effect that adding the one element and checking the to-do rows, and then I will check one task left. And if I see one task left, that means footer is showing correctly. Since we are testing footer in the to-do page only, so we don't need the footer here. So I will delete this test case in the footer. And let's see now what happens here. Okay, let's restart it. Okay, now we will see footer is still showing the 16 line number is missing. Okay, so footer is, 16 is we have to take care of less than equal to 1, which we have taken care by passing 1. And then we have to also take care if it is more than 1 and if it is 0. So we have to take care of 2-3 conditions for the footer. And here I have only taken care of one condition, that is the one task left. So let's add one more element. I will call this change again and fire this click event again. Okay, so let me call this one again. So second time when I try to fire it, I will put mango. And then here I will see the length should be 2. And here I should see 2 tasks left. Let's try to see now. This one is what is showing it. Okay, so you will see once I added this second element, yeah, but I removed the first one. One task one, I removed it. Here it is showing done. So let's try to make this 2 separate one, though it is taken care of here. So let's keep the 1 here, and I will keep separate one for the 2. And here I will name it as spinach. Okay, so here I'm testing 2, and here I'm testing 1. And let's see now what happens. So the thing is that sometimes, we add it here also, and we add it here also. So it becomes 3 here, and we are expected 1. So that makes sometimes problem. So what we can do, I'll delete this part. I don't need to do the 2 here, or I will keep the 2 part here. I don't need the 1 part. The reason is when we go to the footer, if we put 2, it will take care of both the conditions, because less than 1, it checks the count. It is less than or equal to 1. No, it is 2. And if it is 2, it goes to task here. So it automatically checks 1 also and 2 also. So with the 2, we are getting able to pass both the conditions. Ultimate goal is we should pass both the conditions. I will save once more. Okay, so we are able to fix the footer, input, listing, and to-do page. Everything is 100% here. Now we have to take care of the follows page does not have anything. It's only the one thing. So follows page is 100%. But we have to take care of the follows list. This is the last page which we are trying to fix it. But let's check the followers page and see if we want to delete some lines of the code. Okay, so we don't need the footer test, which I deleted it. I hope so. Yeah, we deleted the footer, and I'm testing the footer here only in this to do page. Now let's see the followers page and if we need to delete anything in this test. So first thing is same thing. I need to call the render function from here, not this render. And I don't need this browser router. I don't need this one. And I'm just taking the followers page and hope this doesn't need any more changes. So we'll see what happens to this one. Okay, so followers page is also now 100%. That means we did it correctly. We did not have any problem in this one. So let's delete this one also. I will give this also in the chat if you want. Okay, let's close this one. Now the last page which is remaining is the followers list page. Okay. So first thing is same thing I will do. I will call the render function from the utils in the followers list. I will delete this render part. I don't need browser router. I'll keep the access for now. And I'll delete the browser router from here. Okay, so we deleted the browser router. Now what is there on the followers list? Let's see. So followers list, when I load the page, it calls the dispatch, which will update the followers, that is getting the data from the server, and that data comes in the form of followers and followers error. So let's try to do the console.log of followers. So here, okay, let me delete this browser router. So here, what I'll do, I will comment all this to one bottom one. First try to see this one only. So whenever the access is called with the gate, that is the followers page will load, it will call this dispatch, and this dispatch will call update followers in the action file, which will call the server. Okay, what it does, it calls the server with this one. Okay, so whenever the page load, it calls the server and we get updated followers. So here when I write this test case, it calls this mock data for the actuals, and the follower list is called, and then we check this follower list is in the document or not. So follower list is in the document, that means whether this line is there in the document or not. So that's what we are trying to check. So you will see. Okay, let's see the mock data. Okay. So this lot of console is coming and it is little difficult to track something kind of thing. I will first put it, I will change something here, XXX. And also what I will do for time being, I will go to my store and I will comment this logger part for now, because logger is this sending too many console statement, which is giving some trouble in understanding what things are there. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, since we put Apple in the beginning, so this to-do listing is taking care of Apple again. So maybe we will maybe we will read take care of this later how to do that one. But let's see what happens in the followers one. So I'm getting followers as this one. Okay, this is the data coming for the followers. In the followers list, I'm getting the followers as this one. And once followers is this one, what we can check the followers list row. Okay, we will check this followers list row. So I will put condition here only. I get this mock data, I pass this mock data, I get this follower list. That is this follower list, we get this one, follower list in the document. And now I will also check this one row. How many rows are there? So my next element will be, I will put it here only. Otherwise it will call 2 times and it will update 2 times, and that's what I want to avoid right now. 2 here, 2 here. Okay, let's check what happens with the followers list row. And since it is a multiple, I will pass find all by test ID followers list all. Let's try to see what we get in the element 2. So you will see element 2 is of the length 2 because my mock data is of 2. So here I can check the expectation that this element 2 should have the length of equal to 2. If it is 2, that means my things are working fine. Okay, let's take this one. Let's delete the to-do part, to-do listing. Where is the to-do listing? So it's little, you need to go through the recording again and again because we are going to and fro to different pages. Okay, let's run it now again. This one failed, we will fix it in a minute. So let's try to do this part first. Okay, now my followers list is pending line number 21. So what is line number 21? Which we have to fix it. So this is the part we have to fix it. When some error comes, we should show this error with this data test ID. So let's call this test function again in the followers page. And here I will say render the followers list with error. So previously we passed the mock return value as a good one, but now we will pass as a rejected one. So here I'm passing rejected one, and once the rejected one is there, that means this follower list will not come, and we will get the test ID should be error should be there. So instead of followers list, we will try to find the error. It should find the error, not the followers list, because it is error, and the followers list will not come. So here we are checking the error part. Okay, save it again, run it again. Let's see. Okay, so now my followers list is also 100% done. Everything is 100% done, but we are getting one error here of the to-do listing rows. So what is the problem with to-do listing rows is, I tried to add here with the apple, and then here I am trying to add spinach and mango. So the redux state is same. So it is saying that 2 tasks left, but actually it is 3 tasks because it has to be taken care of this part also, apple part also. So that means when I'm trying to add new things, it has already some value in it, and here it is taking things again. Okay. So either we combine these two tests into one and try to test it together, or here we know that previously I put it one here and we have two here, so I can put three here. Or also I can do one thing. Uh, let's see one thing what we can do. Okay. So right now what I will do, I know that this one is saying expected 2 and receive 3. Okay. The thing is I want to know that here we fire the element of this one and it should not be the 3, it should be 2. Let's double check it what happens here. Okay, then we will try to fix it. Let's try to see what happens here. Okay, to check this part I will go again and see the to-dos. What are the to-dos coming here? Okay, let's take that one. Okay, so when initially to-do is empty, I add one apple, then apple is added with the true value, this one, and then I add the spinach, so this is true, but this is false, and then I added the to-do with this is true, this is false, and this is false. So data is correct. Apple is going with the true value, other two are with the false value. But the thing is that we are not checking it properly. So I think in the to-do page test, I'm not checking it correctly. This should be 2 tasks left because 2 are with the completed status equal to false, completed status equal to false. So this should be correct, but this is not correct. Element length. So we will not test this element length here. So it's not needed. We will only check these 2 tasks left and it should pass now. Okay, still one failed. Let's see what is happening with the one. Okay, so it's saying 2 tasks left is also not the correct one. Let's see what is screen is showing. So I'll do the screen.debug and see what is happening here. Okay, let's double check. So Apple is pending. It's saying Apple is pending. Though we have fired the okay, here it's saying false. Okay. So here we say this element is 0. Okay. So here I am already clicking the element 3 and then here let's try to see how many elements are coming here. Okay, so let's try to see. Will not fire the click event here. Let's try to see. So here we are getting apple has done, mango, spinach is pending, mango is pending, and here it's saying 2 tasks left. Okay, so we don't need this part here. Okay, so this part is done. Because if I'm clicking it again, so it is messing the rows kind of thing, so we don't need it here. Now let's double check it. I will save it again. Okay, now what's happening? So apple got true previously only because I created the apple and I clicked it, so it becomes done. So which is here true. and these two are false, and so we are getting two tasks left, and every test is passing correctly. Okay, so let's remove this to do part now and double check everything. Okay, so now, so these are the files, initial files. We generally don't test it, but if we want, we can put in the configuration to escape these statements. Okay, we don't need to really work on these lines of the code, but all other cases we are getting 100% covered. Though we can do for the router also, but I don't want to do it now. And we can put this all in the escape files, and we will not touch these files because these files, some files are core like index.js. Only we put the Redux part. This part is already created by the Redux React team, and the router is something routing part. We can do test routing also, but for now we will escape this one. So rest other are we are getting 100%. So before now putting it in the Telegram chat, I will just commit the code so you can get it directly. So let me commit the code. So you can get it from there. And we achieved the 100% in all the cases. So in the Redux, you saw that we were trying to do more integration testing rather than testing each component separately by passing the props. Okay, so it is much easier to test the Redux because we need to just take care of the to-do page. Rest others are taken care of automatically. So that way it is easy to do in the Redux. Otherwise, when we do non-Redux part, we have to fix every page by passing the component. But here, since everything is in the common central state, so we don't need to really work on the each separate component. We fixed it many things in the to-do page, and everything got covered automatically. Though we have to write some things in other file, but majority work was done by to-do page itself. Followers list page is separate, so we need to take care of it separately. And in the follower page, we just wrote a one statement to make it 100%. Okay, so this makes our text 100% and all are passed correctly. This is how we do the testing in the Redux and in the non-Redux, both the way I showed you. And all the, when I work in the company, every test case is similar to what I showed it here. Okay, so you will get a very great help with if you finish this unit test cases. It will help in your company also, because when you go for company, they will ask you to cover at least 60-70%, but you can do 100% also for all the pages. And best part of the unit test case is that you get more time to write down the unit test cases. So, if you don't get the time to do things, then what you will do in company, you are free whole day. So you need some work. So you can ask them that we need to do unit test cases, you need to do this, that, you have to increase your workflow. Whenever you work for any company, you have to increase your work. If you don't increase your work, then who will pay you? No one will pay you the money. So best is you should always try to find something so that work should be increased. Okay, if work is increased, you can get more time to fix it, and then you will get more salary because you are doing some job. And if you don't do these test cases, then let's say in 3 days, in 1 week, you complete whole to-do project. And then what will happen? Nothing. So you can take time to finish this unit test cases. You take 1 week more or 2 weeks more for unit test cases. That's what. For the 1 week job, you are working for 3 weeks. So you are paid for 3 weeks for the 1 week of job because you added 2 weeks more for writing the test cases. Writing the test cases increases the time because, you have to take care of writing the test case in the reducer, in the action, in the component. So a lot of work is increased if you write the unit test cases, but that is good for you because you will be paid for it. Okay, so never Never say you will not do unit test cases. Always say you have to do unit test cases. That way you will get also more time to work and more pay. So always in the company, try to increase your work. And if you increase your work, your value will be increased and company will not fire you if something happens in the company. Like Tesla company is trying to fire 15% of the employees. But if that 15% of employees have done some kind of work that they would have shown that this things they are working on it and they worked on it, and if they show something, so they will think, oh, this person has done a lot of work, we cannot remove him. Okay, that's why test cases are very important. Okay, that's all for test cases. Unit test, we completed the unit test cases. Tomorrow we'll start some new topic, and I don't know what I'll start, but we will start something new tomorrow. I know the node is pending, but uh, since we don't use node, I will take node in some few days, but not tomorrow. Okay, let me finish this. Now, from today, I will give you some task which you have to complete in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and as many days it takes. You can complete it quickly or you can take time to do it. And once you complete it, you should put it in your folder and commit it and push it. And then when you come in the class, you have to tell me which is the file you worked on. Okay, so that is how it will work. So I will be writing the task today and you have to do it. And whenever it's done, let me know. Okay, let me create the task. So this is my task file. So I will show you small bit of it, how I'm trying to do it, and you have to follow it with that one. So this is the website which I like very much for the UI perspective. So for few weeks we will only do the task on this website, and we will build small components on this website. So like search part is there, this is the listing part, then we accompanied. See, we were doing some campaign management. We took these boxes from here for my campaign management project. If anyone remember that thing, we did these boxes. So like these boxes, this search part, if I click new company, this form will come. Then there's a deal. So this website I like very much, and I wanted that each part, okay, each part should be a separate component, and we will get a separate component and try to utilize it in any of my projects. So the thing is I will put the section 1. And what is the website we are trying to copy? We are trying to copy this website. And in this website, we will go through each and every part and try to build. So for example, latest notes. So there will be one component called as latest notes, which will be this part. Another one will be the hot contacts, which will be this part. Another one will be deals pipeline, which will be this part. Today I will give you only one task, which everyone has to do same task. That is my latest notes. So from tomorrow I will give 2-3 tasks, and someone can take hot contact, someone can take deal pipeline, someone try to put this part, this part kind of thing. And then once this page is done, someone will take this graph part. And once this page is done, we'll go to the context page. So, okay, don't worry about context now. Let's complete the dashboard part also. So in dashboard, what things we have? We have this one chart. Then we have this right side box. Then we have my notes. And then we have hot context. And then we have deals pipeline. So tomorrow I will give you another task. But today I will only give you the latest notes. I will try to build something in the latest notes you have to copy, see how I'm doing it, and in the same way, you have to do it. Okay, that's what the task is. Okay, so let's try to do this one. Let's close everything. Okay. So I will create one folder called as in the React. I will create a new project. Let's create a new project in the React. I will say yarn create React app. My npm is not working, so I'm using yarn, and I will name it as UI components. Okay, so it will take little time to do the latest notes, but I will give you the high level idea how to do it, and you try it. And if you cannot do tomorrow or in 2-3 days, I will show you how to do it, and then you can take care of other things. Okay, but today I will give you the idea. If you can do with the idea, that will be good, because when you go for real work, they will not give you the exactly how to do it. They will only say do this one. So if you see, if I click this, right click it. So let's try to go a little up. Yeah, so this is my, if I click up, I'm going to this right side, but we don't need, I need this part, this part. So you will see everything is material UI. Okay, so this is material UI. And it is taking the grid. So that means I had to create one main grid and I have to put something inside it. You can put the size of grid as a 12 or 6, it doesn't matter. Or you can copy it from here. If it is small size, that is if it is mobile, take the 12. And if it is a desktop, take the 6. Okay, so you can take the grid. So if I go to material UI page, so I have to take first the grid. And grid will be something like this grid container. But you should put only grid one item. And in one item, you can put XS as a 12 and MD as a 6. And everything layout will come inside this part, inside this grid. So looking at this one, I can figure out that they have taken the material UI grid with the 12 or 6. Okay, after that, they have created one simple div inside it. And whenever you see MUI box, either you can take this box, which they have it, or you can write simply div also. Okay, so either take div for box or you take simple div. But if you put anything, you should also remember that they have extra CSS here. Do you see extra CSS here? Do you see this extra CSS? Okay, so this extra CSS is here, the value is here. And for the grid also, we have extra CSS, which is this one, padding left. So we have to take care of this extra CSS also. Okay. So initially, I will not tell you to take the anything on this extra CSS. But once you finish all this box typography, then we have to go back and fix the extra CSS also. And in our case, how to fix the extra CSS? So our case, always take the SX property and try to update the extra CSS in this access property. So for example, I'll show you if I'm writing this box or if I'm writing only div also, but I want to take care of this CSS. I know these are the things I need to put in my div. Don't create a separate CSS file. Just write down the div and put the style equal to whatever you are seeing it here. This is a normal CSS style. We have to convert into the React style. CSS style to React JSX style. So this is there is automatic tool Maybe I'll show you what is the code. Okay, so this is the website where I put the normal CSS. It will convert to React one. So what CSS I want to put? I want to put this CSS. I will put on the left side. It will give me on the right side one. We don't need this WebKit one. So I'll delete the WebKit part. We don't need this WebKit one. So I'll copy this part and I will put it in the style one. So this is something when we have div tag and we need to put extra CSS, I will put it like this. But if we have the box kind of thing, box as a material UI, then you cannot use style property. You have to use SX property, and rest inside thing will remain same. So if you are using the box or grid or anything, then use the SX property and put the style code there. And if you are using only the div tag, then put the style tag and put it here. All tags should be inline because I want this component to be separate, should not be dependent on any third-party file. So don't take care of extra CSS now. First you finish the material UI component and then we'll go through each line and we have to fix the extra CSS. So what we saw, we have the grid and then inside grid we have div tag, inside div we have the box. Box is nothing but this box. And after box we have another box. And inside this box we have this icon, left side icon. What is this icon? This icon is what is this icon? Let's check. Something note icon. So let's see, note icon is there in the material UI. Note icon. Yeah, so this one is similar to what they have put it here. Okay, so you can get this note icon, copy this note icon and use this note icon as a component. So how will you use note icon as component? You can say note icon like this, a simple React component, and you have to import it. Okay, I'm putting important things here. How you have to make this website. Okay, so after icon, this is the icon which will come here. We close the div tag, that is this box will be closed. And then we have the typography. And this typography has tag of h5. Okay, it has the tag of h5. So we have to check typography. Okay, so for typography, I think we need to use this h5 heading. Okay, so take this h5 heading. Okay, and use the h5 heading, and then it has also the custom CSS. So you have to take this custom CSS and put it there. Maybe you can do in the next step. First you finish the typography, but then you have to add this part also, because if you take only this h1, h5, it may not work as it is shown here. So you need to take this CSS also. Maybe do this CSS as a second phase of the project. First finish all what is there as the material UI. So you have to add the typography which is shown here, the code like this, and then later you can add the CSS also. After this div is closed, and then we have the paper. So this part comes in the paper. Where is the paper? Paper is here. So you have to get the paper. They are showing 3 here. You have to take just one. Maybe take the elevation of 3, or you can increase the elevation if you want. Just take this one. And this is the self-closing, but for you, since we have to put content inside the paper, so you don't make it self-closing, you put content inside it. So after paper, we have the card. What is the card? This card is there. So after paper, they have the card. After card, they have the box, 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 box. So these each will go as a box. kind of thing. So you can put box. That's it. So this complete the left side of latest notes and this paper tool. Will it be possible to do this? So you try it. Otherwise, I will also do. If you can do it, then I will not do it. But if you fail to do somewhere, then I will show you how to do this. And even if you do it, then also one thing I will show you. Rest other things you can do it yourself. So though I showed you the idea, high level idea how to do this, but I want to see how you are doing it in real case. Okay. I have this here, but I will copy this part in the Telegram group. I will put it. Okay, I put it there. I will commit this file also if you need this case this here. And just you have to create a new project in your name and install the material UI, install the React router DOM, create the router file, and make a new file called as what you call as notes. And in that notes, put all this information here. So everything will be a new component. This is the notes component. This is the context component. This is the deal component. This is the chart component. This is the demo component. Like this, you have to build different components. Okay, so let me commit this also. But I gave you in the, I will give you in the, that also, Telegram group also. And I will also do it inside the UI components. So I will do in front of you tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever I feel it's the right time, I'll do it. But you do it in your folder and show me the file name so that I can see if you have done it correctly or not. It's okay to do wrong, but you should try at least, because if you try, first time it is wrong, second time it will go right. But if you don't try, second time also you will get wrong only. Okay, so whenever you get time, you have 2-3 days, finish only the notes part. Don't do everything, just finish the notes part. And once I see everyone has done notes correctly, then we will go to other things. I committed just now, pushed it also.